If your green card file suddenly stops moving, your job, travel, and family plans can be put at risk fast. Everything in this video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not legal advice. Hello everyone, welcome to US Visa News Hub. Today we are looking at one of the biggest shifts in the US immigration system in recent years. Green card approvals have been cut by roughly half under the current administration, and the effects are spreading across nearly every immigration category. If you are an applicant, a petitioner, or someone waiting on a loved one to become a lawful permanent resident, what we are about to cover could directly shape your timeline, your status, and your future in this country. If this topic matters to you, keep watching through the end for the full picture and practical context right here.
If you want future updates, please subscribe, turn on notifications, and like the video so alerts reach your smartphone as soon as possible without delay. Now, let's get into the video. According to a detailed analysis published by the Cato Institute, a respected libertarian think tank, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, or USCIS, has sharply reduced green card approvals and slowed processing across multiple immigration categories. The numbers are clear. Total green card grants have fallen by about half compared with earlier levels. And while the drop is not even across every visa type, the hardest hit categories are those that affect ordinary families and vulnerable people. Let's look more closely at what the data actually shows. Family-based green card approvals, which include the immediate relative visa, known as IR1, the conditional resident visa, CR1, and family preference categories such as F2A and others, dropped by 54% between July 2025 and January 2026. To put that in perspective, family-sponsored approvals stood at 30,991 in January 2025 when the current administration took office. They briefly climbed to 52,81 in July 2025 after the confirmation of the new USCIS chief, but then they fell to just 23,847 by January 2026. That is a steep and rapid decline by any measure, but the question many people are asking is why? Here is what you need to know. The administration has pointed to national security concerns as the main reason for tightening the approval process. After the shooting of 2 National Guard members in Washington, D.C. in late 2025, the administration announced a broad set of immigration policy changes. These included expanded vetting procedures and a directive for USCIS to review, and in some cases, re-examine green card approvals involving nationals from countries the administration has designated as high risk or countries of concern. By December 2025, USCIS had paused green card processing for nationals from 19 countries. That number expanded to 40 countries in January 2026. A Department of Homeland Security spokesperson said that verifying identities and personal histories of people from different countries requires a rigorous process, and that USCIS paused adjudications while working to ensure applicants are vetted and screened to the maximum degree possible. The spokesperson also noted that re-reviews of cases approved under the previous administration are ongoing, and that fraud has already been identified in some of those cases. However, before drawing conclusions, it is important to understand that these policy changes do not affect every applicant the same way. Employment-based immigration has stayed comparatively steady during this period. Categories like the EB1, EB2, and EB3 visa classes have not seen the same severe slowdowns. That difference matters because it shows where the administration is applying pressure and where it is still trying to keep processing efficient. The categories seeing the sharpest declines are humanitarian programs. Refugee admissions have seen dramatic reductions. Cuban adjustment cases, which allow Cuban nationals who have been paroled into the United States to apply for permanent residence after 1 year, have seen what the Cato Institute describes as a near shutdown. During that same period, enforcement actions by federal enforcement agents involving Cuban parolees increased by 463%. Critics say that link is not a coincidence. David Beer, the director of immigration studies at the Cato Institute and the author of this analysis, said it plainly. He said, "By obstructing their ability to receive green cards, USCIS degrades the rights of these applicants and may even cause them to lose their underlying status. Beer went further, saying this looks like a deliberate effort to increase federal enforcement actions by blocking people's efforts to stay on the right side of the law. Those are serious allegations, and they reflect a growing concern among immigration advocates and legal analysts about the coordination between USCIS and federal enforcement agents under this administration. During the current administration, USCIS has worked far more closely with federal enforcement agents to carry out enforcement actions at government offices and during appointments around the country. This is a major shift from previous policy, where immigration benefit offices were generally treated as protected spaces. The practical effect is that some applicants who show up to complete the legal process for obtaining a green card, including biometric appointments, interviews, and adjustment of status hearings, have found themselves taken into custody rather than approved. So what does this mean for current applicants? The impact is being felt in several very concrete ways. First, wait times are getting longer. The United States already faced a massive immigration backlog before these changes, with tens of millions of applications pending across various categories. Now, with reduced throughput and additional review requirements, those backlogs are deepening further. If you have a pending Form I-130, which is a petition for an alien relative, or a pending Form I-485, which is an application to adjust status to lawful permanent resident, your wait is likely to be extended by months and possibly longer. Second, applicants whose temporary status expires while their green card case is still pending face a genuine legal risk. In many cases, a person's work authorization, travel documents, and even legal presence in the United States are tied to their pending adjustment of status case. If processing slows to the point where temporary protections lapse before a decision is made, individuals can find themselves in an incredibly precarious situation through absolutely no fault of their own. Third, for those whose cases fall under the 40-country pause, there is currently no clear timeline for when processing will resume. Immigration analysts note that the expanded pause has created an atmosphere of deep uncertainty, not just for pending applicants, but also for lawful permanent residents who already have green cards, but whose travel or benefit questions now face additional scrutiny. Beyond the processing challenges, the broader policy direction has also led the administration to lower its projected level of legal immigration to the United States by more than 600,000 people during this term. According to estimates from the National Foundation for American Policy, that reduction reflects not just slower processing, but a deliberate recalibration of how many people the administration intends to welcome through legal channels. Despite these challenges, there are some things applicants can do to protect themselves and stay informed. If your case is pending, make sure your legal representation, whether an immigration attorney or an accredited representative, is actively monitoring your file. Ensure all your supporting documents are in order, including financial evidence required for the I-944 public charge declaration, where applicable, employment records, police clearances, and any country-specific documentation that USCIS may require as part of enhanced vetting. If your country is among the 40 currently under the processing pause, consult an attorney immediately to understand how this affects your specific situation and whether any actions can be taken to preserve your status in the meantime. Advocacy organizations and legal groups have signaled that some of these policies may face legal challenges in the courts. While there have been some modifications to immigration policies through court orders during this administration, it remains to be seen whether the green card slowdown will be among the issues litigated. For now, the practical reality is that the system is moving more slowly, affecting more people and creating more uncertainty than at any recent point in memory. The real question is whether the current pace of approvals represents a temporary recalibration for security purposes, as the administration claims, or a longer-term structural shift in how the United States approaches legal immigration. Based on current evidence and the trajectory of policy changes, immigration experts note that absent a significant reversal of direction, applicants should prepare for extended waits and a more scrutinized process across the board. That brings us to the key takeaways from today's bulletin. Green card approvals have fallen by roughly half overall, with family-based and humanitarian categories hit hardest. USCIS has paused processing for nationals from 40 countries while conducting expanded security reviews. Employment-based immigration has been comparatively less affected. And for those with pending applications, The most important steps are staying legally represented, keeping documentation current, and closely monitoring any updates from USCIS. This situation might feel overwhelming, especially for families who have been waiting for years already, but staying informed is one of the most powerful tools available. As these immigration policies continue to evolve, we will be here to break down every development and what it means for your case and your journey. That's all we have for this bulletin. The U.S. Visa News Hub channel provides all necessary visa information and procedures for your U.S. immigration journey. It is important to understand the United States immigration processing steps, visa application requirements, processing times, forms, fees, and more. We will continue to provide all information about U.S. visitor visas such as B1 and B2, work visas such as L1A, L1B, and H1B, student visas, green cards, immigrant visas, EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, and EB5, and family immigrant visas. Thank you for visiting us today, and we'll see you in the next video. If you found this useful, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more U.S. Visa News Hub.